Tonight, from Seattle, Washington, it's the NFC Divisional Round Playoffs on EA Sports. As we'll see Drew Lock and the Seattle Seahawks taking on Jameis Winston and the Detroit Lions.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the Pacific Northwest, the home of the 12s, and they are in full roar as you get a look inside Lumen Field in Seattle. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. Hello, everyone. As the postseason continues here on EA Sports, we're pleased to bring it to you. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And who has the edge here? You got one side that had some extra rest, but another comes in off a win last week in the wild card round.
And it's funny, depending on which team you are, you say that that's an advantage. You'll take the rest. You'll take the week off. Get your guys healed up a little bit and ready to go. But that team that's coming in off of a win last week, they're really excited to keep playing. They feel like they are hot and ready to go.
So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And he and his team, they were the beneficiaries of a first-round bye earned by a tremendous regular season. He'd been a little bit nicked up, so he could use the rest. And I'm sure his teammates felt the exact same way. But now it'll be interesting to watch their first few drives in this one. Because sometimes getting the rest is great, but sometimes you accumulate a little bit of rust as well. Maybe they come out flat, and they can't afford that in the postseason.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They run again with Carson, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Play action. Now it's Lock. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. Does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. Lock off a play action. Rolling to his left. He hits his target, Lockett. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. 25 yards that time.
Boy, no problems getting down the field here on this opening drive. They've looked really sharp in the early going, and they've come up with some big plays already. Here's another that's going to set up 1st and goal.
Scoring first, so critical in the postseason. They've got it here 1st and goal.
47 is the mic. 47 is the mic.
On play action, Lock. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the... feet down. Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one. And we'll get a moment here as they look this one over.
Yeah, remember now, the call on the field is what they'll stick with unless they have clear video evidence to the contrary. And I give these officials a lot of credit. Such a tough and demanding job. You and I both know that. Yeah, they make the right call way more often than they get it wrong.
What you got? Huh? What you got? Huh?
So not successful there on the challenge, and he'll have to be careful from here on out because he'll only have one challenge remaining. He'll buy some time right. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
Locked now on 3rd and goal. Eluding the pressure right. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Drew Lock, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks are on the board first here in this division round matchup. So they take the opening kickoff and drive it all the way down the field.
And that's the last thing you want defensively. On the road, in the playoffs, and now you're down a touchdown right away.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
And the quality of opponent goes up a notch here in this divisional round. But he's coming off such a sensational performance, I'm not sure he cares. 4 touchdown passes in the last game, and you'd have to imagine his head coach would sign up for that right now.
Winston now to throw on 1st down. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. To throw on 2nd and 10. Winston. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Now it's Lockett. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their 2nd drive. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD. And you get the feeling if they could score here, they'd really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder right now, is the quarterback and the play caller totally in sync? Are they at one mind to, hey, what worked last time? Let's keep doing it until they stop us. Or do they go to a different section in the playbook, show them something different? Either way, they want a repeat of their first drive.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. This is Carson. And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal.
And he will not be denied. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Chris Carson taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Seahawks lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. They trail here early in this division round game as they seek a spot in the NFC title bout. Jameis now on first down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Winston. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Jordan Brooks with it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick 6.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the second quarter.
So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Detroit's offense ready to take over. They trail early on the road in the playoffs. Not a great combination as they've got it 1st and 10. Back to it after the pick 6. Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Uchenna Nwosu. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, CD, we have seen it many times throughout the course of the season. This defense coming up large and snagging a big takeaway. But here they get not just the takeaway, 6 points as well.
And you just knew that for this team to advance, it had to get a big performance from this unit. And to this point, they've delivered.
The extra point now coming from Myers. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. He's off to a pretty shaky start, to put it mildly. He's had 2 passes picked off and run back for touchdowns, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. And that's out to the flat for Swift. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now Winston. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Winston. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. On fourth down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. Returnable for Lockett. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first two drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a three-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They fake the handoff. Now Locke on the move to his left. Looking for Lockett, and he's got him working his way free across the middle. Touchdown! Tyler Lockett, 35 yards. And the Seahawks continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And, Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm glad we're going with full transparency here because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes this 35-0 now. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with a Tyler Lockett touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Jameis to throw it. Open man is Kendrick Bourne. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Off the play fake, Winston. Pressure comes, he's taken down by the Seahawk defense. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Winston now. Flush to his right. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
It'd be interesting to see what he decides to do the next time he's in the position we just saw there. Outside of the pocket, takes a throw downfield, it turns up incomplete. I wonder if next time he might take off and run.
And that will be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down. Here's Jack Fox now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This will be fielded at the 17. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. He's up over 100 yards, has the touchdown. He's a big-time receiver in this league, so the question becomes, how do you limit him going forward?
Well, you know the guys trying to cover him, they haven't had a whole lot of success thus far, and while they will still accept the challenge, maybe you have to change your focus. You have to get after the quarterback a little bit, disrupt his timing, because right now it feels like pitch and catch. Make sure he's not able to have clear sight lines to him, and maybe that'll slow him down.
And this is not the guy you want to let play pitch and catch. Now a play fake, and here's Locke. Steps away. Left side complete to Lockett. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first, thanks to a flashy little spin move. It's a big play there for Seattle. 59 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Looking in zone, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. On 2nd and goal. Locke out to his left. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points on the board, as easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the fourth quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
The first down throw for Winston. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting it once, you get first half scores just like this one.
They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 13. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. This is fielded at the 27. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. And with great starting field position and one timeout in their pocket, they could still come away with points here in the late going. Rolling to his left. It's caught. Lockett. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Locke going to throw. On the move to his left. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete. Ray certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield. But they never did.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will extend their lead even further. Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start over in Texas at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Dak Prescott, another strong performance, as his guys claim victory number 13 on the year. Meanwhile, in our game, we're set up for a terrific second half. So to find out who will advance to the NFC title game, let's send it back out to Brandon Gott.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And Charles, that had to be an interesting locker room at halftime. This is a team that's had so much success this year. Haven't really had to deal with a lot of adversity at halftime, to be honest. But now here they are with their playoff lives on the line.
And I think when you're alluding to that interesting locker room, you're just wondering how are they handling that bit of adversity that they're seeing right now? Because I think this is a team that has to look to lean on the veterans at this point. We know we're better than this. We've proved it all season. Let them disseminate that confidence through the locker room. But this opening drive, it'll be an important one for them to...
And Jameis intercepted a third time. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
After the turnover, here's Locke. This is caught. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed it up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking at first and goal.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. The delay of game, a costly one, as they're backed up 5 for first and goal. Here's Locke to throw. Escaping the pressure. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It's second and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. Extra point up and through by Myers. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Winston. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Winston's throw complete there to St. Brown, and they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. Third and short yardage. Winston steps away to his left, and he wisely will throw that one away.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. The football changing hands here, and as this offense takes the field, Charles, they'd be fine with more of the same on this upcoming drive. Last time out, they found the end zone for 6.
And they're certainly hoping for more of the same, but the game plan, I doubt it'll just be a carbon copy of the last drive, because I think this offense is ready to break out some new wrinkles and try some new things that might be hidden in their playbook. They want to use that confidence to its advantage while also keeping the defense from anticipating what's up next.
Steps away. He finds his man complete. That's Holloway. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there. Taking it in. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
So, my man, another touchdown. They're looking like the #1 seed that they earned throughout the year. Looking pretty dominant right now.
We knew the road to the Super Bowl would run right through this stadium. Somebody's going to have to come in here and beat these guys. Good luck. I don't think it's happening this weekend.
No, definitely not this weekend. And for anyone else out there, bring your game.
Buyer beware. Now Myers for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Lions offense set to take over. But the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that, because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook. The bottom line is don't quit competing.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave them with a second and just a few inches left. On play action, Winston. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And the Seahawks are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. And right about now, you start to think, and maybe they're starting to think, gosh, maybe points aren't going to happen for us in this game.
Well, it's a thought that is worth having, because so far in this game, this defense has not just had the upper hand. They've appeared to be a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps, to everything they've done. They've had an answer for everything this offense has thrown at them.
On first down, Locke. Oh, wide open, complete. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A gain of 32 that time.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field. Pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
Block now on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawks touchdown. A great effort there with his second touchdown of the night. And the Seahawks get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. And certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now, because he has absolutely carved up the secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. The extra point now coming from Myers. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. So here come the Lions now. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
On 2nd and 7, Winston. And that'll be caught by St. Brown. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. He's got his man. It's Kendrick. And now look at this. Big game, but a fumble. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And Winston lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll bring up 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. The kick by Lutz is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And they have made this look easy. There's not supposed to be anything easy about the NFL playoffs, but this lead, yes, they're at home, but this has been impressive.
And we hear all the time when upsets happen, teams go on the road, that maybe home field advantage isn't all it's cracked up to be. But you and I both know the reality is teams really fight hard to get it. Why? You don't ever have to change routine. Everything's familiar going into the game. It makes things easier, and that has paid off for them in a big way in this contest.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lock. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Up huge on the scoreboard, and they're still trying to add to their total. That shot doesn't connect, but I don't think it'll dissuade them from attempting another one.
On 2nd and 10, Lock. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Myers connects on the PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. Their hopes of advancing past this divisional round hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10 on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Working out of the gun, Winston. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. To throw again on 2nd down, Winston. Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. The Lions on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 10. And that is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Taken in at the 22. A good return there, 17 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now the ball now going back over the Seattle Seahawks offense. And it would appear that that first-round bye certainly helped. They've looked fresh from the start and no letdown here as they lead big in this divisional round and they look to book a spot in the conference championship. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing now is Locke. Catch is made by Metcalf. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here 1st and 10. Now it's Carson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. Coming up on 2nd and 7. Here's Carson. Oh, that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 60 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A lot going to throw it here. That one tipped and it's incomplete. What good hands there defensively. And 2nd down. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Locke looking left side and he's got a man. That's Holloway. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
That time a 6-play drive. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. So out now come the Lions. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Uchenna Nwosu. He's the culprit, dropping him for a 2-yard loss.
Well, someone is certainly having a big game, and while that sack doesn't quite have the splash of his pick six from earlier, you know he's thrilled to be making big plays during a great individual effort today.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Now Winston. That's Bourne. Got it on the slant. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards. One last shot now for Winston. And now here is another interception. And the Seahawks come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. And they have secured a spot in the conference championship, and now you can start to smell it at this point in the season, can't you?
You really can, because the focus has been one game at a time, not looking ahead. But when you get to the conference championship game and you know you're there, the Super Bowl does loom in the future.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.